And they are at the same time the main victim of the causes. So in climate, in the sense, in particular, definitely it has an impact on the forest biodiversity. For example, as I said, provide goods and services. For example, soil and water protection, forests contribute to it. Habitat for wildlife and other ecosystem systems, they contribute greatly to it. And fuel wood, which, as I say, is very, very important, because if you look at our Gambian population, 80% of people depend on fuel wood. But the emission is very high. What are you going to do to address this problem? Because a poor man cannot afford gas, even electricity. We depend on fuel wood. If you go to Bandini area, you see vehicles coming loaded with fuel wood. Although they have contributed. And then these are very, very important. But since we are talking about climate change, I think forests, they contribute greatly to summarize, to stabilize the greenhouse gas concentration in the atmosphere.
But that is if we have the trees alive.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
If we don't cut the trees.
Okay.
Can you elaborate more?
I'm just summarizing. I'll just go to adaptive measures so that we can link the causes and how we adopt it. Because it's a national concern. And as I say, on greenhouse gas concentration at the level that will prevent dangerous anthropogenic interference with the climate change, to allow ecosystem to adapt naturally to climate change. Therefore, we should ensure that our food production is not threatened. When I say our food production is not threatened, in the sense that people go into agriculture. They go into agriculture, clearing the forest area. At the end, sometimes they don't have real yield out of it. And those lands are abandoned. They are not planted. So therefore, if they want to proceed, therefore, they should have a sustainable farming. They have to incorporate our farming system with tree planting. So as far as is concerned, in our perspective, we have tried a lot. The first thing we do to adapt to this climate change is, number one, is tree planting. Tree planting, I think, is very, very important. Carbon stock, tree provided it. And I'm happy that our Excellency advocated for 1 million trees that we should plant every year. It means that every Gambian has to plant a tree. Definitely. But the only problem we normally get the protection part of it. Trees are planted, they are not protected. That's the main thing. But if at all we can plant a tree and it's protected and is safeguarded, within 5 years, definitely, we are not going to think about climate change. And also another angle of our attention is community participation in forestry. It's very high in the Gambia. Presently, we have 350 people involved in community forestry participation, which is very great. Almost about 35,000 hectares land under community management. The only concern we are not getting private coming in to associate with the community to
private investors
to climate change. And the most important one now, we also do sensitization, which is very, very crucial and very important, and education and research and technical support. As our Honorable Minister said, we go to Doha, or personally I'm going to COP18 in Qatar, where we are going to negotiate and discuss, but primarily how our partners can assist us in order to reduce the climate change,
greenhouse gas emissions.
I think, and the most important thing, since I said that fuel wood is one of our main sources of energy, I think it's very important to promote energy-saving devices like Kumbajeng, so that will eliminate fuel, that will also reduce the emission to the atmosphere. And secondly, we have to provide alternative source of energy, but it should be cheap and affordable. Like, for example,
as well as alternative sources of livelihoods.
Livelihood, exactly. We go into solar energy. I'm sure we have some apparatus we can use for cooking, and also we can have electricity. If it's cheap and affordable, definitely that will also help in conjunction with tree planting and other measures are put in place.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Director. I may have to come back to you if time can allow us. But let's go to the Director of Parks and Wildlife Management, Mr. Alpha Omar Jallow. You know, the forest harbors the wildlife, and two of you are very, very much interdependent. Now, you have heard what Sergio said about protecting the forest and making sure that it is there, not only as a carbon sink, but also to harbor the flora and fauna of the country and biodiversity. Now, I know you can say it better than me. What is your stake in this as the Director of Parks and Wildlife Management?
Thank you very much, Ismaila Senghor. I know the Kasinkas or the Sereres will not contribute to deforesting the environment, but maybe depleting the resources in the ocean. As the focal point for the Convention of Biological Diversity, which is a global instrument which every country utilizes to see how adequate the utilization of resources is concerned. And with the basic objectives, that is conservation of biological diversity, as well as the sustainable use of its components. And I think the convention is now going into the third phase, that is the fair and equitable sharing of resources. Because we can observe that in Africa, multilateral companies come here and take our resources without us benefiting from it. As far as the Gambia is concerned with regards to climate change, which is a cross-cutting issue, I think my colleague director have also mentioned, because for them protecting the forest cover, it helps us a lot. And in so many aspects, that is, they are creating habitats for the animals that we are trying to conserve. And as you can see, as a result of climate change, there are so many factors. And also, we have lost most of our romantic species. And this climate change can cause unwanted migration for our animal species. And as you know, wherever there are so many animals, it shows that the environment is quite healthy. And these people can survive in that area. If there are no animals, I'm sorry, if you go to a place you don't see any wildlife, then it means you should move, because the environment is not healthy for all.
That's right.
And well, with the animals, as I said, some of them are indicators. They can tell you that, okay, this year is going to be a dry season, or we'll have enough rains, or there will be a drought, or so on, with the birds, animals. If you are observant, you'll be able to know what the future predicts, or what the climate features will be. And that's why we are very important as animals. We are higher